Hi my dear students, welcome back to another session. In the last class you already learned regarding androecium, like anther and like anther tears, pollen grain structure, advantage and disadvantage of pollen grains also you had learned. The today class is regarding gynoecium. Gynoecium, it is also called as what? Pistillate flower. The pistil which is going to represent the female reproductive organ in the flower, right? The first point is gynoecium, which is also called as pistillate flower. Pistillate flower, and this pistil nothing but gynoecium, which is going to represent the female, reproductive organ of flower. Nothing but it is which flower? It is a female flower. And here, if flower is consist of only one pistil, it is called as monocarpellary. If the gynoecium is consist of more than two pistils, we can call as multicarpellary. If gynoecium is consist only one pistil, such is called as monocarpellary ovary. And if gynoecium is consist more than one pistil, that is called as what? Multicarpellary ovary. So this multicarpellary ovary, which is again going to divide into two types, one is apocarpus, one is syncarpus. Apocarpus, here number of ovules are present, these multicarpellary ovules are free, so such condition we can call as apocarpus. So in case of syncarpus, these multicarpels which are fused, so such we can call as what? Syncarpus. So based on fusion and free, which is again divided into two types, one is apocarpus and second one is syncarpus. Apocarpus and syncarpus. In apocarpus, multicarpels, more than one carpels are present, which are free in condition. In NCERT, they are given the example, or one is Papaver somnifera. Second, Michelia, and third one is lotus. So these are the example. One is what? One is Michelia and one is lotus, which are example of multicarpellary apocarpus. Next, syncarpus. In this case, it is also multicarpels are present. These multicarpels are fused in condition. So such we can call as what? Syncarpus. So the best example is hibiscus, Rosa sinapsis, hibiscus, China rose. Hibiscus we can call as what? China rose, as well as papaver. So these two are example for what? Syncarpus. Generally, each carpel which is consist of one style, stigma, ovary. Generally, each carpel is consist of which consists three parts. One is ovary, next style, next stigma. Style and stigma. So let's say, for example, in NCERT the diagrams are given. One simple diagram is here. Like so, this is actually what? Ovary, and it is style, and it is stigma. And the ovary, which is, you can see, which is going to arrange on, this is one is what? Thalamus. This is thalamus. So this is actually hibiscus rosa synapsis diagram, gynoecium. Next, Here one example is given, which one is syncarpus. Example is papaver diagram is given. The simple here, like this is a fruit. It is a fruit here, which is like structure we can notice it. And this is actually what? This is ovary. It is ovary and these are stigma. Example is what? Multicarpal. Here multicarpals are present. These multicarpals are fused, so that we can call as syncarpus. Example is papaver. Example is papaver. And one more example is given, mycelia, or you can say lotus. So here in inside here mycelia example is given. Here this is actually here. Here number of carpels are present. So this is each one is one carpel. Carpels are free, right? So this is actually carpel. Multicarpellary, multicarpels, carpels are free in conditions. Multicarpels, carpels are free in condition, that we can call as what? Apocarpus. Example is mycelia, right? So let's see here, H, gynoecium is consists. Generally first we are going to start with the stigma. So stigma, which is here the pollen grain, which is going to drop, it going to give the platform to pollen grains. The pollen grains which are going to drop, or it is provide the platform. It is provide the platform for PG, pollen grain. PG means pollen grain. So next part is what? In gynoecium, nothing but becomes a carpel. Next part is style. Next part is style. The style is elongated tube-like slender structure we can notice, which is present in between stigma to ovary, which is long tube-like structure, slender, and as well as which is present in between stigma to ovary, right? So through the pollen tube which is going to enter and reach to the ovary. Third part is ovary. Third part is what? Ovary. So it is a basal swollen part which is arranged on the thalamus. That is called as what? Ovary. It is a basal swollen part which is arranged on thalamus. That is called as what? Ovary. The ovary, in case of multicarpellary, in case of you can say syncarpus, multicarpels are present. So here each carpels we can call as like each ovary which is going to consist ovarian locules are present. Here next part is ovarian locule. In case of syncarpus, we can notice ovarian locules. Most of the case ovarian locule number which is equal to the carpels number. Ovarian locule number most of the case which is going to equal to carpel number, right? Next, in which in each ovarian locule which is going to consist one ovule. After the fertilization, the ovule which is going to become as what? Seed. And within the ovarian locule ovules are present. Ovules are present. Ovules are present within the ovarian locule, right? So after fertilization, each ovule is going to become as one seed, right? And sometime each locule is going to contain only one seed or more than seeds also we can notice it. So here ovules are maybe sometime only one ovule we can notice in within the ovary or in within the ovarian locules. The best example is mango. Only one ovule is going to become as one seed. In within the fruit we can notice only one seed, right? Mango, rice, these all are example. Wheat, these all examples. Sometime more than one ovules after fertilization is become as what? Seed. So that for example watermelon, papaya as well as watermelon. So in this case the fruit is containing number of seeds. Number of seeds means number of ovules. After the fertilization this number of ovules is become as what? Number of seeds, right? Next, so these ovules which are going to arrange on the basal the base swollen part we can call as placenta. The ovules which are going to arrange on placenta, which are going to attach to the placenta. Arrangement of the ovules on placenta which is called as placentation. Arrangement of ovule on placenta which is called as placentation. Right? So this is actually each and every carpel which is consist of an ovary style stigma, right? Each every carpel which is containing one style stigma ovary. Within the ovary, ovarian locules are present. Within the ovarian locule one ovule is present. One ovule is going to become as a one seed. So this you can see the number of sometime each ovarian locule is going to containing only one seed or maybe more than two seeds are present, right? And again some synonyms are here for competition exam, like pistillate flower. Pistillate flower generally we can call as what? Female flower. So which is also called as, the pistil also called as megasporophyll. Androecium is called as microsporophyll. Now it is called as what? Megasporophyll. It is called as megasporophyll, which is called as what? Megasporophyll. Next, the pistil and within the ovary, ovules are present. Ovule. The ovule we can call as megasporangium. The ovule we can call as what? Megasporangium. The ovule we can call as what? Megasporangium. And within the ovule which is present, embryo sac is present. Within the ovule, embryo sac is present. That embryo sac we can call as female gametophyte, which is called as female gametophyte. Next, and within the embryo sac, one single cell, that is egg cell, is present. The egg cell which is going to represent as what? Female gamete. Here egg cell is present in within the embryo sac. That single egg cell, haploid egg cell, we can call as what? Female gamete. Clear? So this is actually regarding pistil. Next, ovule. It is also called as what? Megasporangium. In NCERT one diagram is given. Ovule structure is clearly given, anatropous ovule. Actually, what is anatropous ovule first? Anatropous ovule here, the oval body which is going to bend, it is going to curve nearly 180 degrees. So such ovule we can call as what? Anatropous ovule. First we have to write the point here. The ovule is bent nearly 180 degrees first. And second here, if you notice in the part, micropyle region which is side to the funicle, that is you can say funicle. And as well as here micropyle region as well as chalazal both are in one straight line. So such type of ovule we can call as what? Anatropous ovule. What you have to write? The second point is here micropyle region, micropyle as well as funicle part. This is funicle part. Both are side by side. That is second point. Third, micropyle region as well as chalazal both are in a one straight line. So such type of ovule we can call as what? Anatropous ovule. Micropyle as well as chalaza both are in one straight line. So this is micropyle region, this is chalaza region, right? So such type of ovule we can call as what? Anatropous ovule. Let's see the ovule part, ovule structure. The first part generally funicle. Funicle, it's a one long stalk-like structure which is going to arrange on placenta. That is we can call as what? Placentation. Right, like the first part is funicle. Funicle. The funicle is a long stalk-like structure which is going to arrange on placenta. Arrangement of ovule on the placenta which is called as placentation, right? This is actually first part, funicle. And focus on second part. And the second part we can hilum. This is actually what? Hilum. So here hilum, the hilum part is where the ovule which is going to fuse with the stalk-like structure of funicle. So such a junction of ovule as well as funicle structure we can call as what? Hilum. We can call as what? First part is what? Placenta. Second one is funicle. Third one is hilum. Hilum means what? Where ovule is attached or fused with a funicle. So such part we can call as what? Hilum. It is also called as what? Junction. It is also called as junction of ovule and a funicle, right? So such part we labeled as what? Hilum. Next one. Next fourth part is what? Integuments. Fourth one is what? Integuments. Integuments are mostly one or two integuments are present which are going to give the protection to the ovule, right? Integuments are which are outermost layer which are most of the case only two integuments are present which are going to give the protection to ovule, nothing but megaspore, megasporangium, right? Next part is, fifth part is here micropyle region. So if you notice here integuments, the integuments which are going to cover entire the ovule but except one small portion. So that small portion it is going to become as what? One small pore, that is called as what? Micropyle region, right? So this micropyle region which is going to useful to entry of the pollen tube into the embryo sac, right? So here integuments, which one? The part is micropyle. So the micropyle region which is not covered by integument, or which is not covered by integuments. Integuments. Due to that, one small space is going to form. That small pore we can call as what? Micropyle. So micropyle, which is going to provide the entry site. It is a entry site of pollen tube, which is the entry site of pollen tube, right? So this is regarding what? Micropyle. Next one is, the sixth one is chalazal side. So it is actually exactly opposite to micropyle region. Exactly opposite side, the part we can call as what? Chalazal side, which is the base of the ovule, right? Here chalazal side, which is going to exactly opposite to micropyle, and which is going to provide it is a base part of ovule. It is a base part of the ovule, right? Next, and next point is, the seventh label is nucellus. What is called as nucellus? So nucellus, it is a group of parenchymatous tissues which are present in between the embryo sac to integuments. Nucellus are what? Nucellus is a group of parenchymatous tissue. It is a group of parenchymatous tissue, right, which is present in between integument to embryo sac, right? So that portion we can call as what? Nucellus. So this one of the nucellus cells which are going to become as archisporial cells which is going to become as sporogenous tissues. Now this one of the sporogenous cell which is going to act as megaspore mother cell. So this megaspore mother cell, which is again undergoes a meiotic division and produce megaspore. So what you have to write here? Nucellus cells which act as megaspore mother cell, which is act as megaspore mother cell. What is the pleiady of megaspore mother cells, or what is the pleiady of nucellus? What you have to write? The pleiady is diploidy to n in condition, right? Clear? Next, eighth part is label is, which one is embryo sac. Where the embryo sac is present? Embryo sac is present inside of the nucellus tissue, right? Embryo sac is which is present inside of nucellus, right? So this embryo sac, which is also called as what? Female gametophyte, which is also called as female gametophyte. Clear? Next, here some of other label which is not given in the NCERT. Let's check it once. Aburator. Aburator is a one small filament like structure which is arranged at a entry of the pollen tube. Entry of the pollen tube is nothing but what? Micropyle region, which is going to give the guidance to the pollen tube to entry of the pollen tube towards the micropyle region. That is, we can call as what? Aburator. T silent. Aburator, right? Which is one small filament like structure which is present in entry of which is present near to micropyle on funicle. The function is which is going to guide the pollen tube, towards micropyle region. That is actual function of what? Aburator. Next one more point here, raphe. The ridge-like structures we can notice it. It is a main in main oval body we can notice a ridge-like structure that we can call as raphe. The raphe is consist of vascular bundle. It means transport is occurred. Vascular bundle is present. Right? Put the heading. One more is raphe. The main body of ovule, which consists a ridge-like structure, RIDGE, a ridge-like structure that we can call as raphe. That we can call as what? Raphe. The raphe is made up of vascular bundle, VB, vascular bundle. Due to the presence of vascular bundle, which is involved in the transport of water molecules as well as food molecules. It means food molecules, water molecules are supplied through raphe to the ovary, to the ovule, to the megasporangium. VB, which is going to transport to food as well as water to the megasporangium. 10. Right? So this is actually the labels of different labels of ovule. It is which type of ovule? Anatropous ovule. Why it is anatropous ovule? Because it is bended nearly 180 degrees Celsius, 180 degrees. Right? In NCERT the diagram is given like it was is given. Right? In the exams you have to write same NCERT diagram you have to write. Okay? Based on integments, ovules again divided into three types. One is unitegmic, bitegmic, ategmic. Unitegmic means only one integment is present. Example is gymnosperm. Bitegmic means only two integments are present. That is dicots as well as monocots. And third one is ategmic. Integments are completely absent. Such type of ovules we can notice in a Santalum album. Right. The point is based on the number of integments, ovule, which is divided into three types. Ovules are divided into three types. The first one is unitegmic ovule. Unitegmic means only one integument is present. Example is which one? Gymnosperm. Example is gymnosperm. And the next one is bitegmic. Bitegmic ovule. Two integments are present. Most of the case angiosperms, it means monocots as well as dicots. Most of the angiosperms they are going to perform bitegmic ovules. Two integments are present, two protective layers are present. This is one protective layer and this is one protective layer. Bitegmic anatropous ovule. Right? And next one is, third one is ategmic. So here integments are absent. Integments are absent. If integments are absent, so such type of ovule we can call as ategmic. The best example is Santalum alba. Santalum, scientific name of plant, Santalum. Clear? So this is actually based on integments. Next, some one point here. Generally, mostly consider two integments are present. Sometime one more integments which is going to coming from chalageral side towards the ovule. So that third integument we can call as aril. The aril is edible pod. Such type of third integument is formed in lychee fruit, that is edible pod in the fruit. Right? One more point is aril. Here aril means what? Sometime third integument which is arise from where? Chalageral side. It is a third integument. It is a third integument which is going to arise from which side? Chalageral side. Chalajal side. So this third integument we can call as eril, which is a edible part, which is a edible part in lychee fruit. That is actually what eril. Next, one more point here. This is actually what the group of parenchymatous tissues. The group of parenchymatous tissues we can call as what nucellus. During the embryo sac development, in most of the angiosperms, the nucellus which is going to disappear. Completely nucellus is going to digested. But in some species, after the embryo sac development also, some thin layer is remaining, some amount of nucellus is present. The remaining nucellus after the complete development of embryo sac, it is called as perisperma. Very important. Next part is what? The fifth one is perisperma. Perisperma means what? So it is remain nucellus, remaining nucellus after the development of female gametophyte. So such a remaining nucellus we can call as what? Perisperma. We can notice in a Papaver family, Papaveraceae family, as well as Gingiberaceae. Gingiber, it means what? Ginger. Papaveraceae family, poppy plant. So in these two plants we can notice which? Perisperma. And one more point is here, caruncle. Caruncle, R-U-N-C-L-E. R-U-N-C-L, caruncle. So caruncle means here actually the integuments. Sometimes these integuments, due to the proliferation of integuments, mass of tissues are formed. So such a mass of tissues we can call as what? Caruncle. It is a part, it is formed due to the proliferation of integuments. Proliferation of integuments, right? So due to that what happened? Mass of tissues are formed. Mass of tissue is formed. So this mass of tissues which is containing high amount of sugar molecules, right? So such part we can call as what? Caruncle. Such we can call as what? Caruncle. So this is actually some of excess information regarding Anatropous ovule. Anatropous ovule, it is the most common type of angiosperm. 60 to 70% of all plants which are going to show the Anatropous ovule. Next, megasporogenesis. Megasporogenesis means what? Formation of megaspore. It means it is a process of formation of megaspore from megaspore mother cell is called as megasporogenesis, right? What is the definition? Here it is a process of formation of megaspore from megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell. So that is called as what? Megasporogenesis. Here actually first here some of nucellus cells, some of parenchymatous nucellus cells which are going to become as archisporial cells. So these archisporial cells is become as sporogenous tissues, sporogenous tissue, and each cell of sporogenous tissues which is going to become as megaspore mother cell, MMC, right? So here especially micropyle region, micropyle side sporogenous tissue or nothing but sporogenous cell which is undergoes meiosis division, and produce megastores, right? Megaspore mother cells are which are large in size, MMC. Megaspore mother cells which are large in size, dense cytoplasm, and prominent nucleus is present. Now this megaspore mother cell, here this is actually what? Megaspore mother cell. What is the ploidy of megaspore mother cell? Diploidy. What is the ploidy of sporogenous tissues? Diploidy. What is the ploidy of archipoid cells? Diploidy. So this megaspore mother cells which is undergoes which division? Meiosis division, and produce 4 cells. So these 4 linear cells are formed, right? So these are actually called as what? These are megaspores. After formation of 4 megaspores, out of 4, 3 will be die. Only one megaspore is survived. Right? In this case here, so which is micropyle region, 3 cells are going to die. So if it is microspyle, these 3 cells are going to die. Which cell is going to survive? Only chalazal side. Chalaza side megaspore is survived and become as functional megaspore. So this is actually formation of megaspore is called as what? Megasporogenesis, most common type of in angiosperms. Right? Next this megaspore is going to become as female gametophyte. Let's put the heading. Female gametophyte. Female gametophyte formation is what? Embryo sac formation. Right? Very simple. Now already what you can say, 3 are going to die, only one megaspore is survived. Now this cell we can call as what? Megaspore. So this megaspore which is again undergoes a mitotic division, number of times of mitotic division and form of embryo sac. Here this first megaspore which is undergoes first time of mitosis and produce like 2 cells are going to form that is called as dyad. Right? Later this dyad which is again undergoes second time of mitosis and are going to produce 4 cells. We can call it as tetrad. 1, 2, 3 and 4, like 4 cells are formed. So this we can call as what? Tetrad. So this tetrad which is again undergoes a third time of mitosis division to produce 8 nucleus. So this 8 nucleus stage we can call as what? Embryo sac. Now it is going to again undergoes one more time of mitosis division to produce 8 nucleus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 8 nucleus which are going to settle, here 3 cells which are going to settle in one side and 3 cells which are going to 3 nucleus which are going to settle in one more side and remaining 2 nucleus which are going to settle at the middle. Now this condition we can call as what? Matured embryo sac. It is called as matured embryo sac. Here we have to focus mainly 2 points here. At the beginning, first mitosis division, second mitosis division, third mitosis division. After mitosis division, you can see 2 phases we can notice. The first phase is karyokinesis, second phase is cytokinesis. In this case, after completion of karyokinesis, immediately cytokinesis is not going to occur. What is the point? After completion of first mitosis division, second mitosis division, third mitosis division, which are immediately not followed by cytokinesis division. So that's why at the beginning direct cells are not going to form. Free nuclear stages are going to form. Later complete formation of 8 nucleus from base cells wall is going to form. Right? Here after karyokinesis, after karyokinesis, which is immediately not followed by cytokinesis. So due to that, what happened? 8 free nucleus are formed. After formation of 8 free nucleus, later out of 8, 6 nucleus are covered by cell wall, and remaining 2 nucleus which are going to covered by cell wall and settle at a center of embryo sac. Right? Now, so these 3 cells we can call as 1, 2, 3. These 3 cells we can call as antipodal cell, and these 3 cells we can call as egg apparatus, and this middle one we can call as central cell. So here the mature embryo sac, which is containing 8 nucleus and 7 cells. The mature embryo sac which is containing 8 nucleus and 7 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells. And nucleus are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 nucleus and 7 cell at stage. And here the 3 cells which are going to settle to chalazal side. Such cells we can call as what? Antipodal cells. What is the heading? Antipodal cells. How many cells? 3 cells. What is haploidy? Haploid. So where they are present? Towards chalazal side. Next 3 cells which are towards micropyle region. So how many cells? 3 cells. What is haploidy? Haploidy. So these which cells are towards the micropyle region, such cells we can call as what? Such cells we can call as egg apparatus. Egg apparatus, which is containing how many cells? 3 cells. The 3 cells, out of 3 cells, 2 cells we can call as synergid cells. So synergid cell 1 and synergid cell 2. And this top of the cell we can call as what? Egg cell. And one cell which is going to act as egg cell. One cell it is act as what? Egg cells. What is haploidy? Synergid cells also be haploid, egg cells also be haploid. And synergid cells which are going to contain one special design, the pattern we can notice on synergid cells. It is called as filiform apparatus. The synergid cells are containing one special type of folding layer that we can call as filiform apparatus. Such a structure we can notice only on synergid cell, which are going to help to guide the pollen tube towards egg cell. It is useful for fertilization of male gamete with the egg cell, which is going to guide the pollen tube towards egg cell for fertilization. Right? So this is actually what matured embryo sac diagram. Matured embryo sac. So actually this is actually today lesson. We had discussed regarding what? The first one is megaspore, and after completion of megaspore we had discussed structure of anatropous ovule, next megasporogenesis, and a female gametophyte, nothing but embryo sac. Thank you all of you.